Hi, good afternoon. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty out of New York City. Founded PlugIntro to stop the two problems we have, which is you don't have enough people to meet and you may not have enough value to offer them outside your transaction or your business. I came across a new friend named Carissa Maxwell at a recent conference, and she is from Prescott, Arizona, and is a broker owner of Glow Realty. So I'd love to turn it over to Carissa and say good afternoon. Tell us how are you doing in your market, and let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So hi, Scott. I'm very thankful to be here and to be featured and talk about my business. I am the designated broker for Glow Realty, and I've been in the industry since 2013. I have really been focusing on growing agents, especially strong women, and empowering them to be able to have a balanced life. Some of my agents are mothers working to fulfill greatness in their life, and being able to have the entrepreneur aspect. And I have a team leader position as well. I've run a team since I started in 13, and also have 6 independent agents so far. And I have definitely been focused on really connecting with the community and making sure that my clients are plugging in and enjoying all the aspects of the lifestyle that Northern Arizona has to offer. Let's see, I hold a monthly mixer every month. I've been doing it for 5 years. And it was a really great way to get my clients to get out and try new things in our area. And it also allowed me to feature a new small business every month. And it gave me an opportunity to touch my clients on through email and through text and in different ways to let them know that the event was happening. So it was top of mind. And it was just a really great thing. And then I also accumulated sponsors. So a title company, an insurance company, and a lender. And they've been there since the beginning. It's been amazing. And for instance, like this next month on May 9th, this month, May 19th, we are going to be hosting our mixer at a new wedding venue and featuring her. And then we're also, basically looking for new people to host at. And then our past clients and small businesses that have been hosts in the past show up with a raffle item and raffle that off to basically show off their service or product, so our clients can experience what they have to offer. And it's a really great way to promote our business as well as businesses in our area. So, yeah.
I really share the appreciation and the spirit of community and assisting others gain exposure to the local market. I believe so strongly in making those deep relations involving cross-pollination of clients and new friends, et cetera. I mean, I guess that's that high I in the disc series that I know you're in there, of course.
Yeah.
I believe that. And you know what? We lacked that during COVID in New York so much. It was people were chomping at the bit, but it was either not around or not legal or not, it was frowned upon. Plus we had a bad winter. It was a lot of factors that really take away some of that ability, but there's nothing better than in person to have to connect like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so thankful that we have that opportunity going forward too. And I think that you're going to see a lot more of that, really trying to get people to connect in person, and so thankful that we have that opportunity. So,
but really important is that of accountability. Yes, the people are gaining, but one thing I brought with PlugIntro to the forefront is that of hosting, where you do the work, you're the hostess in this instance. You've invited people so they feel that they're important, they're including them, they're honored, they're complimented, and they're in a way vetted. So if you introduce people, it's not like anyone gets in. It's not like it's a restaurant. It's more like you've rented the back part of the restaurant, a private room where you're bringing people in who you think are appropriate to be connected.
Yes, and but there is that aspect as well that in order to, in Arizona anyway, RESPA actually makes it harder for us to keep it that exclusive. In our area, we do have to open it up to an equal opportunity because of RESPA. So in Arizona specifically. So I'm not sure about other states. So so we kind of feel like it's the survival of the fittest. Who's going to be consistent? Who's going to consistently show up and be there to promote their business and feature themselves? Who's going to put the work in to be there every time and to talk about what they're doing? What are they coming up with for their business, and how are they going to support our clients? And we have found that the people that are showing up consistently are building a very healthy business with these mixers with us. And we are more likely to continue to push them if they are the ones showing up. And that's what it's about. It's about showing up. It's about being consistent and disciplined in their business, because we are being that. So when we find people that are that way, it's so much more enjoyable, and we're able to really, get behind them, and they are getting a healthy amount of business from our people. So
well,
very happy to see that.
Yeah, what they do is they're really buying in, they're sharing in the mission. You form belief, and that makes trust. We didn't say the T word. And one thing I've been commenting on with some of the smarty pants I know from some of the conferences we've attended is, if you really look around, that trust is under attack. And I mean that all the venture capital, all the Wall Street investors, all the technology is going to bring the consumer directly to the provider. Zillow was more than 15 years ago, where you press on some realtor's face and you meet someone who doesn't know you and doesn't know the house, but somehow they're involved in the deal. There's no more necessarily next door neighbor referral. Now with lending, it's gotten more and more, especially with the mortgage rates, and they're shutting a lot of people. Rocket Mortgage, Quicken Loans, they're putting people with providers for a tiny, tiny profit margin on a mass scale. So people who are in the business a long time are being, I should say, pushed to make more and more trusted relations, because the younger people are definitely on their phones doing everything, and all the opportunity is outside the person-to-person trust-based relation. And it sounds like you're building that, and I'm proud that I built that with PlugIntro. PlugIntro is a place where anyone meets who they should know and has a chance to provide value to others, and make more and better referral partners just by giving others a chance to promote their business. And people have asked me about, niche markets and your two things. I always say, well, the business community is your best market, because those people are here. They're in business. They're not running around. They're paying taxes. They're keeping their buildings. They're keeping their homes. The kids are in school. To me, that's the most stable and profitable area. And second, people say market to your sphere. And I've gotten unpopular when I say, well, what did they get? Isn't marketing to your sphere really just telling people about yourself and asking for business? It's not really saying, here's what's in it for you. So someone like you bringing people together in person, and, in between those monthly important meetings, which I have too with several organizations, I love that PlugIntro uses the Facebook ease and functionality and design to just connect people, press buttons, meet people, and see where it goes.
Yeah, it's like an online preferred book of really great contacts that you want to be able to send to your client when they
involve the client. I mean, so while we're on the phone right now, a client or someone who is looking can meet people. I like to call it a local business media channel, where there's interviews and it's supposed to be fun. And we're already on these phones too damn much. and we're already on Facebook so much. I'm surprised no one else before this opportunity carved out a piece of Facebook, put it in a group, gave it to the PlugIntro Maxwell team, and said, "This is yours. Go help people and have some fun with it."
Right. Well, and I think people are really, really craving connection, and they really do want to have a trusted referral. Like they want to have somebody tell them that they trust that this is the person you need to call and this is the person you need to talk to about this specific thing or this service. Or, I mean, it's really such a better
And
value.
Carissa, to that, I've heard that point. And yes, it's important to that person. We're trying to serve the client, right? But here's the problem with that. That client is buying one house. You're doing much more than one deal. So yes, you're here to help the client. That's your role as a fiduciary. We know that. I get that. You're representing them. However, the client can jam everyone else up by bringing some weird service provider, someone they never met, someone online. You have such a team, I'm sure, with your title and your lenders and your inspectors and everyone else involved, even the movers and stagers. How would you like it if someone came in with a weirdo that doesn't answer your phone calls?
Yeah, it's true.
Now what? So it really goes both ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that makes
they're
sense.
getting a lot. They're getting a lot, but really you need to offer your services within a vehicle that's really running smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's a pretty great platform to feature people that are doing good things and in the specific local community that we're in. So
sure. I mean, the platform aside, it's just I think that our actions in real life should be reflected online, whether it's Mother's Day yesterday or things that you may be interested in doing, sharing some sports or some social activity. It makes sense. That part I call social media, but within the local business media, there's such an opportunity to share your important message with your clients. So, I mean, let's move a little bit. So in this crazy market you're in with rates increasing, how are you handling buyers? Are there still over asking? How do you handle sellers? Are there still multiple offers? What's changed? What's shifted?
Well, definitely in the last couple of weeks, we've seen a little bit of a shift. After inflation came to like 8.2%, we saw rates stabilize actually. And that was a good thing. But what we're seeing is that buyers are a little fatigued. They've been fighting to try to get into a house, and they are still out there searching, waiting for that house to come up. And then they submit an offer, and they're one of 5 offers in our area in rural Arizona. People are flocking to our state because we have lower taxes, and people want to be out and about. They crave our lifestyle.
How's your weather out there? How's your weather?
And the weather? Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
So, I think in the last 2 weeks, what we've seen is that it's been a little bit slower. Open houses haven't been as well attended as they have been in even like 4 weeks ago. We're seeing that we're starting to kind of see a little bit of a shift in the amount of offers that we're getting. We're still getting offers at these prices. However, it is kind of slowing down a little bit. And I think it's going to continue to slow down because the interest rates going up as they go up is going to affect people's ability to their purchase power. And we're going to be shifting and focusing on trying to get our past clients that purchased homes within 4 to 5 years ago. We're going to try to get them to pull some of their, well, we're going to advise them to start thinking about what they can do with their unrealized equity power, and really focusing on helping them purchase investment properties and in HELOCs and second homes, and really focusing on trying to get these people to actually get off the fence and do something with their equity. I think that's our play right now. We're seeing that sellers are not selling because they have nowhere to go and they don't want to purchase at a 5.5% interest rate, even though that's still, on record, that's pretty low, but they're in a 2.27 interest rate. And why would they give that up? And that just doesn't make any sense unless they have a very specific reason to move, or they are planning to use the profits from the sale and use it to purchase a different type of investment. They are sitting tight, and that's why we're focusing on equity power and figuring out how to pull out that equity to buy other properties and still see a 10 to 15% return on their investments.
There are
So
a lot of ideas to play because, people have had houses, let's say people's folks, they're their 70s and they're done. I mean, this run up in value the last 2-3 years or even two, it's monopoly money. So if you really think about it, fortunately, you get this sales proceeds tax free if you're married $500,000. So now you didn't make $500,000 in your career in the last 2 years, but you did now with your house. So rates could be 5.5 or 3.5. The 3.5 didn't affect them because they weren't paying it anyway. And now, yes, you're spending $400 or $500 a month more. To people and this is not a few people. There's a lot of people in the graying market. The people that moved down by you came from the New England and New York states.
Well, in California, that's
California.
90%. 90% of our buyers are from California and leveraging their home in California using cash to pay cash in Arizona.
Right. And in my side of the world, it's New York and New Jersey goes to Florida. That's the
same thing.
Same thing. And it's just, because of the time difference too. When you said 11 o'clock just now, I said, whoa, it's 11 o'clock. I forgot.
I know.
On our world, it's the same time. So you can call anyone, it's the same day versus when I know when I'm West, it's like another day. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
Really, to think about it. But when people have had this appreciation. So yes, if you're being, that's the right word. If you're being fiscally conservative and careful, no one wants to spend $400 or $500 too much. But when you're spending money you didn't know you had, which you didn't count on pre-COVID value being this, who thought of that? No one thought of that. So that's why people are making, and on both markets, I guess your market still has pretty limited inventory. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. We have less than 200 homes active in our market. And that's insane. I mean, I'm a part of 2 MLSs and the inventory is the lowest it's ever been, as far as I understand. And so that's a tough market to get through when you have a bunch of buyers who are ready to buy and they're just waiting for the right property to come on the market. But they can only go up to a certain number. And then that is changing as interest rates are rising. And then you have sellers who are not budging and not willing to list. Or if they are willing to list, they want a ridiculous amount to try to justify, the difference in the interest rate that they're going to be locked into. And you've got, this challenge of trying to get the seller to list and the buyer to increase their purchase power. And so that is the challenge right now for sure.
And the media is not helping because all you hear is reports. I have the media is screaming, that I said, yeah, there's high prices, but there are, with the technology and the showings on the lock boxes, there's definitely a drop in showings.
Oh, there is.
They call that the canary in the coal mine. We don't care about solds. We don't care about listings. But if there's low showings, where can this go?
Right. I think there's just that huge fatigue. And I think that, and it's going to continue to slow down. I just don't see how it can sustain. People are starting to get pretty tired of the houses coming in at a price that they don't think is sustainable. Long term, it's not going to maintain that value. We're also seeing appraisers come in with low appraisals. So we're seeing, homes that would have appraised a month ago Now appraisers are getting they're tightening up a little bit, and we're seeing appraisals come in 25, 30,000 below what we have them under contract for. And we are successfully negotiating down the price to meet in the middle somewhere with our buyer and our seller just to get the deal done. But, 4 weeks ago, we would have been able to get that appraisal through and we would have pushed forward. And now we're having to go back to the negotiating table and really, use our negotiating skills to get a deal done, and making sure that everybody's, happy with that. And so I would say sellers are having to be a little bit more flexible, and buyers are having to reset their expectations of what the house that they're buying is going to look like. And so there's this push and pull back and forth. And I feel like we are showing our value every single day right now, especially when it comes to educating buyers and sellers and getting to the finish line, getting from the very beginning to the very end. Right now, it is absolutely so important to have a professional who understands what's going on in real time. So that, and especially our contacts, especially knowing who we know, what person do we need to call right now to get something done to protect their negotiating position. So important. So, that is something we are dealing with right now, boots on the ground. We are dealing with a shift in the market. It's going to be one, like just the other day, there was an article about how this is probably going to be one of the most unique recessions we're ever going to see, because of just the environment and the temperature of what's going on. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
It's interesting overall from a societal perspective, because there's some bad news coming on about regular things like baby formula. I mean, that's
Yeah.
no, we're talking about, but yet it's almost like the separate people, where the people who are buyers and sellers and the people who work with them are almost in a different place, because there is so much money to still be made on some of these properties. But again, it must be even weirder for you, because you are the destination. So no one's going to move back to New Jersey or Sacramento. So where do people go?
Well, and then construction is backed up, 2 years. If you go into a new home sale center right now, they're going to give you a start date of sometime in the next 18 months. And they are going to give you a paper to sign that says that there's an escalation clause in place, that they can't even guarantee the price of the home, and it could go up, and that they are going to, basically say, well, it's this price today, but we have the right to increase that. And it could go up to this price, or an undefined price, depending on what happens. And you just have to be thankful that you got this reservation, and this other person didn't, because you're on the list, a little bit higher on the list. Like, that's the conversations we're having, because
it is. And I've also heard where people are taking their rights and optioning them out. So I could get on that list and someone could buy my spot.
Absolutely. And that's a very unique place to be. I mean, we have never seen that before, where we're waiting this long to just even get on the start date list for our new construction. And that is affecting rental prices here in Arizona. Right now, even in Prescott Valley, which is kind of a suburb of Prescott. And those rental prices are on average in our area really much higher than they were before. I mean, $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It used to be $1,450 or $1,500, and now it's pushing $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house in Granville, which is one of our communities. And I mean, that's insane to think that that's where we are today.
If you think have you ever looked at prices in Manhattan?
That's the thing, is the margins are really what I'm looking at, right? Because obviously, after going to New York and seeing, I can see why people would want to be there. And spend that kind of money because it's such a beautiful place. I love the city. That's just
Listen, you know, I'm born here. We did that, and we did it. And it's, don't get me, everything is great about it. And it used to be, before COVID and before broadband, you had to get in the city to work. That's
yeah.
why, you know, there's all these communities in the suburbs that are
Mhm.
based on the train stations, and I live in one of
Mhm.
them. But it was not that long ago, you know, I'd say less than 15 years ago, where you had to get in and get your butt into your seat, and it was, people were on the train platforms in the middle of winter, 12 degrees at
Mhm.
6:15 in the morning. I was one of them.
Mhm.
And then you get nowadays everything online, and
Mhm.
I don't even have a jacket or tie on right
Oh,
now.
yeah, no,
And
it's
it's
changing
different.
everything.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I think that it's actually a really great transformation of how we work, and I think it's really giving us more balance, and I think we're happier in general because we can work from the comfort of our home part time, and then go in when we want to
Mhm.
have in person meetings, and it's kind of a great balance, I think.
One part I was reading where this really makes sense to me, and I'm sure will make sense to you because this is our conversation, is that there's working in your business and working on your business. Well, no matter where you are, you're going to work in your business to get a deal closed. But
Mhm.
the much reduced commute and gas allows people to spend that time working on their business with the contacts, with relations. You just got freed of a bunch of hours a week. So why
Mhm.
not use them to build stronger relations and see how you can help others?
Mhm.
That's the time that people, oh, I'm so frantic. Of course you are. You just, from my area, you can spend 3 hours a day in the road commuting,
Mhm.
3. And people would do 4, but let's say 2 to 3 is really
Yeah.
reasonable. Really reasonable. It took me an hour plus to get home from Long Island last night. So that's
Mhm.
normal. No one even blinks. So that's twice a day. Imagine having that time to grab a half an hour now, see
Mhm.
who someone you can benefit, see how you could work out a way to assist each other. It really is a freeing. That's why you're going to see so much more of this type of interpersonal yet online relation.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that time can be used to go to a yoga class and then connect with a whole new group of people you've never interacted with before.
Hmm.
You can use your time so much more wisely to create that connection, and really just double down on what you're already doing, and you can do it online or you can do it in person. And I'm just excited to see what happens in our community. And I think that's why I decided to open up my own brokerage, is to basically capitalize on the relationships I've already made, and then just beaming all of my focus on my audience that I'm trying to speak to, and really capture all of those people,
Hmm.
and get them excited about what we're doing and the agents that I'm bringing on. So it's pretty exciting for sure.
It is. And you're working in you mentioned those 3 sponsors, the title, the insurance company, and one other. Who was that? A bank, I guess?
Insurance agents, an insurance agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a bank, and the other, I guess, a title company.
So title, lending, and insurance.
Okay.
Those are
Those are CRE. And I call that, well, and the home inspector, I call that the core 4. So
oh, really?
those,
Okay.
I made up that term, core 4,
Core
where
four.
every agent walks around with at least 1 or 2 or 3 of those providers that are you hold in high regard. You are very, very comfortable referring them. But that should be a team, not just going to work. This is the part that makes me crazy. It's a team, and it's not just to go to work. It's a team to connect each other really, really meaningfully. Now, here's one knock I have, and I've not gotten a yes yet. I talk to lenders 2 or 3 times a day, and I say,
Mhm.
"This is perfect for you, and you should hit your people with this." Oh, you just did 2 years of refis. You just did 2 years of refis. Yes, the title company did those deals, but how many of those banks have introduced you to any of those people that refied?
Mhm.
Exactly. So these are people, they're not moving tomorrow, but they're people that there's no competition. You're touching them passively, softly. Those are people that absolutely, with no pressure, could be introduced to you. And I'm the guy that tells lenders, why aren't you doing that? If you want to know agents, instead of begging, instead of bothering, go there and say, these are the people I refied. And then you can't do any more than that, but it's a nice contract. contact.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's a really great tool to use in your listing presentation. If you've created a relationship with lenders that have a pool of people that are within a certain bracket and have the ability to purchase, and they're just kind of in a list with the lender, you may be able to present that in a listing presentation to your seller and say, hey, I've got access to this whole list of people that I'll present your listing to that are already able and ready, willing, and
Absolutely.
able. And we
And
are
you have,
not
of course,
utilizing lenders that way. You're
you're
absolutely
not.
correct.
Well, that's
But
on
it is
your end.
something, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, there's definitely like a whole untapped area there that we
And the
could
reason
definitely
why that's, I'll
explore.
tell you, the two reasons why that's untapped are: one, agents never demand it. They never make
Mhm.
it clear. That's the first. And the second is that I'm not saying that they're holding back, but the home inspector may not think of it, that anyone may not. It should be a really subtle requirement that you're giving real exposure and referrals. The home inspector he didn't do it, but I should say the title insurance for sure was part of every refi, and so was every bank. So that's just an introduction. It's not going down their list. It's not a
Right.
Rolodex.
Yeah.
It's just an introduction. Hey, you should meet this agent. Carissa's fantastic. And do you know anything about this? Great. Good luck. I mean, that's simple, and it should be done weekly.
Yeah, I think that it's underutilized. And I also think that people are worried that if they're just referring one person, that they're going to get into, a legal issue.
It's not.
And
It's not a
so,
referral, Carissa. It's just an
right.
introduction. It's not a
Oh,
referral.
yeah. And so it's really just how you present it, right? Because,
Conversation. You should know this
yeah,
person. That's it.
yes,
Yeah. You should
she's a
know.
great person to talk to. She's got a lot of great information that you should, know.
And through a platform like PlugIntro, you're just pressing invite. So there's no rest, but there's no closing, there's no money. It's just
Mhm.
take a look, join this online platform. You're in
Mhm.
this. You just taught me it's not Prescott, it's Prescott, right? Is that it?
Prescott, yes, the
Prescott,
Prescott area,
like biscuit. Okay, but
like
Prescott, I
biscuit,
called
but
it.
Prescott.
Got it. All right. Okay, I didn't know that. I said Scott,
Yeah,
like Scott. It makes sense. That's how I'd say it.
yeah,
But listen,
yeah.
it just shows that one little dialogue here, we're brainstorming. And, for you, so the next step really is for you to select your audience. This is what I love about this interview series. You have clients, you have friends, you have local business owners, you have those mortgage and entitled people that would love to avoid paying for one day and now have the opportunity to promote themselves limitlessly in your group, and you'll be the only realtor ever there. So everything else you do, you have competition. Over here, you have no competition. So we're happy about that.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's fun.
sounds
Um,
sounds like a great opportunity.
it's a great opportunity. We're happy to share. I'm glad I met you, and I knew you were a legit candidate the minute I met you. I said this young lady's out here pushing from across the country. If she's going to flatter New York, she's going to certainly get on a website. And
That's right. That's right. I'm just
so, what's the best way
learning all
for
kinds of stuff. So
what's the best way to reach you? Website and phone number?
yeah, so you can reach me at 928-202-2654. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at the Maxwell Group or Glow Realty AZ.